We sound like so smart. You ready?
Yeah. Welcome to the Run Galloway Girls podcast. I'm Naomi.
I'm Liz, and we're the Run Galloway Girls, and we are here with another extra episode this week.
Bonus.
Episode 4. So today we are going to talk to you about beginning running, using the Galloway method, what you need to get started to become a runner, a little bit about our stories and how we became runners, which I know we've touched on a tiny bit before, but stay tuned because, this is coming at you right now. Like, you pressed play, so you're going to hear it. There's no waiting. So one of the very first things, we were chatting on a walk about what you need to start running. Everybody talks about how free running is as a sport, but there's one thing that you need. And I think that it's so important if you want to become a runner, you need to get the right shoes.
Yeah. And how do you get the right shoes? So you don't just go online and order a pair of cute shoes, although that sounds fun. You do really need to go to a specialty running store and get fitted. Hopefully there's one in your area. Roadrunner Sports is a good nationwide brand.
Yeah.
We have Potomac River Running, which is an awesome local brand.
Jeff has his own store, Philippides.
Phidippides.
Phidippides. I can never say it right. Phidippides. And Phidippides is the guy who ran the first marathon. So he actually started the very first specialty running store in the world. So, and now specialty running stores are everywhere. And if you don't have a specialty running store near where you live, there are some tips online, specifically Roadrunner Sports online has some great tips on how to order shoes. And you really want to look at your feet and how you walk and how you run before ordering something. Most people pronate. A vast majority of people overpronate. And so my suggestion usually with brand new runners, especially if you are starting running because you feel like you have a little extra weight on you, err on the side of slightly overpronation. On slight stability. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that, go a little more supportive than neutral, especially if you're making this decision on your own. Trust the guidance of the person in the running store if you're going to a specialty running store. And the reason why I say that is a lot of new runners complain of shin splints. And how shin splints happen, how they occur, is when you have slightly too much pronation and your arch gets stretched out as you begin running. Mm-hmm. And so this is a really simple way to kind of keep that from happening. And you can always adjust when it's time to get your second pair of shoes.
Yeah, and you may find that you need orthotics or inserts in your shoes.
And they don't have to be orthotics from a podiatrist that are like $1 million.
No, like $80, slightly custom. They basically heat them up and melt them to your feet. I wear those from Roadrunner Sports, makes them. And one way you can find out whether you do have high arches, aside from how it feels in your shoes, is you can do either the paper bag test or the towel test, where you take your foot, you wet it, and then you set it down on a surface like a piece of paper, and you can see that outline and how much arch is actually showing on the paper or on the towel.
Yeah, and even if you're not going to do custom inserts, there are also things called super feet that are pretty great. You can even as simply as going to like a Dr. Scholl's insert. I remember working in the training room when I was in high school, and this is long story long, and I don't even think Naomi knows this, but my major in college and like what I went to Catawba for was athletic training. And so I worked in the athletic training room in high school from sophomore year through senior year, and I taped ankles, and I, did teardrop tapings for a lot of fallen arches, and we would always give runners who were complaining of shin splints the advice of go to get Dr. Scholl's insoles for your shoes, because running shoes come with like a little 5-cent insole. You've got this, $100, $200 shoe with a 5 to 15 cent insole. And so replacing those insoles, the majority of runners do need a better insole, and it can make your shoes last longer. Mm-hmm. But that said, if you don't need it, you don't need it.
Yes.
So, less is more unless more is more. So.
Yeah. And so, back to shin splints, because that is one where if you have higher arches, sometimes that will be one of the issues you'll get as you start out.
Yes.
So what can you do when you're starting out, when you get that horrible feeling in the front of your shins? What are some things we can do to make that pain go away.
So when you're getting shin splints and you're a brand new runner and you're just starting out, it's basically a big warning sign that you started to do too much too fast. Specifically, too much speed and too much running, and your body wasn't ready for it. So first thing you're going to do is scale back. Scale back on your running. But if walking doesn't hurt, go ahead and keep walking. Get that distance up 10% a week. Get that intensity up 10% a week. To treat the actual shin splint, you want to support the arch in that foot. You can do it through a KT taping, a teardrop taping. You could even decide to take a little visit to a podiatrist and get your foot checked out. And then you can freeze Dixie cups full of water. And the reason you're going to use little paper Dixie cups is then you're going to rip off the little top of them and use them for ice massage on your shin. All that's going to do is help the pain, but it's amazing. It can really help the pain, calm it down, and once you back off for 2 weeks and then ease in more gently, and you've supported your arch either with the right shoe or an insole, those shin splints should kind of resolve.
And another way to help would be just, slow down and, like Liz said, back off, but also bring in more walk breaks. So whether or not you're already using Galloway, that might be the time to start, or maybe you're starting with Galloway method but you can take your walk breaks from, if you were previously doing, 60-30s, a minute running, 30 seconds walking, you can take that down to a 30-30 or something that's
or even 15-30s while you're recovering. Just replace the running minutes with walking minutes while you're in pain. And then as you're building back up, don't let those shin splints come back all the way. As soon as you start to feel that twinge, ease back for that day and kind of keep pushing that point further and further as you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So
another common running injury. Yeah.
Before we do that, let's go over when you go to your specialty running store, how to pick the right shoe. So let's say they have said you're a neutral runner, you need neutral shoes, and they have you try 5 different neutral shoes. How do you pick which one?
Mm-hmm. So which one feels the best on your feet, the most comfortable right out of the box?
And the one that you like the colors of the best. Because if you like the colors and it's comfortable, you're going to wear it.
Yep.
If it's super comfortable, but it's ugly and you hate it, you're probably not going to wear it. Or if you love the colors and it's uncomfortable, you're probably not going to wear it. So it should be super comfortable right out of the box. Does not matter which brand it is. It does not matter how much it is. Just go with comfort. Be completely blind to brands. Go for comfort. Mm-hmm. Go for what you like. And be ready to run. And then the other little thing, oh my gosh, it was in my brain. Where did it go? I don't know. Oh my gosh.
Well, on that, I just want to say also that there actually is some science behind the colors you choose to wear. And so if you pick like neon colors, it can make you faster. I mean, unless you like really hate neon. But for most people, there are like, you pick certain colors and you're like, I'm going to be fast today. So maybe that's another technique is like these shoes, this
like
color
that.
is going to make me super fast.
Well, plus when you have really cool looking shoes, people might come up to you and be like, oh, do those shoes make you run fast? Or is that just something we say to kids? So I run a child care center, and we say that to kids all the time, and I kind of get a little upset that nobody says that to me when I wear really cool running shoes. Nobody says, oh, I bet you can run so fast in those. And then the other thing when you're buying your running shoes, take your street shoe size and go ahead and let them measure your foot and try on a half to a full to even a size and a half up, because your foot will expand the longer you run. And it's one of those things with clothing, like, get over the size. It's just a number. I remember, this is so embarrassing, but I used to say that I wanted foot reduction surgery because I wore a 10 and a half. And I was like, my feet are so ugly and gross. And like, I wanted like cute little dainty 7 and a half, right? But that's not who I am. And
it's not that your feet will expand permanently.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe, but
I gained, I think I was just cramming my feet into shoes that were too small for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But my feet are definitely bigger, like 30 marathons later.
Yeah, well, and but they'll swell with heat, and so like as you're running, your feet are gonna get warm, and so they'll swell, and so you know go up at least. I like a full whole, at least one whole size up.
Sometimes a size and a half. It depends on the brand.
Oh, for
In
sure.
my Nike Next Percents, I had to go up a full. One and a half.
Yeah.
Right. So in like a street shoe, I would wear like a 9.5 or a 10. And in my running shoes, I wear a 10.5 or I have to wear an 11 in the Vaporflies.
Yeah.
So as far as shoes go, you do need them. This is the one investment that you need to make when you're beginning running. And it's not just to help prevent running injuries. It's also a little investment to motivate you to stick to your plan because you did spend $150 on that cool pair of shoes that are going to make you run super fast.
And
but by fast, we mean...
whatever you want to run.
We need to come up with like a little acronym for what fast means. Yeah. Like
fun.
Like fun, awesome, silly, and terrific.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
And it's so personal. So I know you're going to say, you're going to go ask your running friends, what do you wear? And that's, they're going to have their opinion and it's just an opinion. So do go and try them out. And again, be blind to brand. I love that. And find what works for you. Cool
tip, Roadrunner Sports, if you don't have a specialty running store in your area, and I definitely recommend go to a specialty running store in your area and support them because these are usually small businesses, and even the national brands, like retail, it's tough. And we want retail spaces like this to continue to exist. So go in person. But if you don't have something close by, Roadrunner Sports has an amazing return policy. So you can order, you can order a bunch of different shoes to your house, try them on, figure it out, and then return the ones that don't work. Yeah. So, all right. So now that we have our brand new shoes and we're all jazzed about running, what else are we on the lookout for when it comes to like possible new runner hiccups?
Yeah, so one of mine was the runner's knee, and that's so many different things.
It definitely is. So runner's knee. Usually, what does it say? Like usually, because I can tell you usually like what I've heard it to be is.
Well, there are multiple different things.
Syndrome.
IT is one of them, and there's just tendonitis around your knees. Yeah. And there's also plica syndrome if you have.
So plica has actually been kind of disproven. It's like artifact on MRI. So we're looking at a website right now. So runner's knee in general, you're going to see patellofemoral pain syndrome specific more often in women, although men get it as well. And what it is inflammation behind the kneecap at the patella and the femur. There's a joint where it connects. And it's due to a weak VMO, which is your vastus medialis oblique, which is your smallest quadricep muscle. Yeah. And so what you want to do is generally, if that's the runner's knee that you're dealing with, it's going to hurt when you're sitting for a long time. It's going to hurt going up and down stairs. It's actually not going to be super bad while you're running. It's going to be more like getting around. Going downstairs is the worst, not climbing up so much, and sitting. And so you do want to make sure that you're taking good care of that little small quadricep muscle that's in the shape of a teardrop just on the medial side or inside of your knee. You can do some leg lifts, some straight leg lifts to focus on that in all four directions. And then I like taking a foam roller or a coffee can, sit down on your butt on the floor, stick it under your knee, and you do like this tiny little extension from kind of where your knee is kind of supported, barely bent over a foam roller, and you just do a little lift up and down, and that's going to isolate that VMO. And then I had also mentioned IT band. So IT band syndrome is going to hit you on the outside of the knee.
From where, it connects all the way up at your hip, so it's gonna. But some people do get it towards the knee, and some people are gonna feel it up higher on their hip.
Yeah, and so that is usually caused by weak glutes. And And so what happens is your glutes are weak, so your IT band tries to tighten up to support your hip, and you'll get that pain on the outside of the knee. Usually when people are running a lot of hills, they'll have issues with their IT band, and it'll feel like their knee is locking up or tightening up. So if you have that tightening feeling in your knee, it could be IT band syndrome. What you want to do, resist the urge to roll out the outside of your leg. What you want to do is focus on strengthening your glute medials, which are like the smaller glute muscles, and you want to focus on strengthening those muscles. We're big fans of physical therapists. You can self-refer, if you live in the United States, to physical therapy for I think it's as long as 6 weeks now, but I think it's at least 30 days, where you can go and get an eval, get some exercises, and be on your way back to running.
Right. And so that's a really common one for a lot of different injuries is those weak glutes. We, in our society, sit a lot and don't fire our glutes at all. And so one thing that you can also try to be just conscious of, in addition to doing those exercises once a day, is just kind of being conscious of firing your glutes when you are running and not letting your quads do all the work.
And we have no affiliation with the Recover app, but we have both started using the Recover app for strength training.
Brought to you by Strava.
And so we love the Recover app. They have lots of different like kind of PT or almost like prehab exercises in there, and you can put in exactly what you're trying to fix. And it's fantastic. So definitely check that out as well. So we talked less about beginning running and more about injury prevention. But I would say that those are the main two: beginning running.
Yeah.
Beginning running injuries. And then the other complaint of new runners is that they feel breathless, that they just feel like they can't do it. They're tired, they're heavy breathing. And while some people do have exercise-induced asthma, actually both of us do,
Yep.
I would say for most new runners, and it could be exercise-induced asthma as well, but for a lot of new runners, you really just need to chill out, slow down, cut your runs, make them shorter, make them slower, take more walk breaks. If you're really huffing and puffing and it's not resolving during a 30-second walk break, go get evaluated by your doctor. But let's say you are using 1530s and you are coughing up a storm. That's your red flag to go to the doctor. But if you're huffing and puffing and you can recover within 30 minutes to 2 minutes or 30 seconds to 2 minutes, then you probably are just pushing too hard during those runs. Remember, we're trying to become runners for life, not for this week or not through that race.
And that's another important thing is that when you start a running program, running plan, you start a couple of days a week, it's going to take a little bit of time before it doesn't hurt every time you go out the door. So
and the first mile is hard.
The first mile is even hard
for us.
Even years and years in.
Yeah. So, but the mile 2 and mile 3 is so rewarding. I always say you can't trust the first mile and you can't trust the last mile. First mile is going to feel hard because you're just getting going, and the last mile is going to feel hard because it feels like it's never going to end. So
you're creating a habit. You're hopefully going to at least give it at least like 3 weeks to see how this goes. If you are, again, we're not talking about going out and running 3 miles every other day. We're talking about, it's a combination of 10 minutes of walking, 10 minutes of run, walk, run interval, and 5 and 30, 10 seconds of running, 30 seconds of walking, and then back to 10 minutes of running, and that's your 30 minutes.
And then running specific clothes. Do you need them right out the gate? Do you need to go get all new running specific clothes?
No, but if you're female, you probably need a sports bra.
Yes.
It's probably going to be something that's going to become uncomfortable very quickly.
I'm horrible at this because I wear my sports bras mostly for moral support. But if your sports bra has had a birthday, it's too old. Ugh. So you should throw your sports bras away after a year because they do lose elasticity.
Yeah, and you'll notice that in the band will start to feel or look a little scratchy or stretchy.
Yeah, if it feels like you want to lounge in it, it's probably not good for running. And then, for men, you probably also want some, maybe sports specific under things. We'll have to bring Chris on here to kind of talk about men's information. For those of you who don't know, Chris Twiggs is Galloway's chief training officer, and he does all of the customized training for the Galloway program. And so he'll be our resource for, kind of men's specific things. But this is the Run Galloway Girls podcast, so we're going to stick to a little more girls specific here. I also think that clothing can be a great reward too if you're looking for motivation. So before week 1, you buy those awesome shoes. That's your motivation. At the end of week 1, maybe treat yourself to like some cool running shorts or a really cool running tank or something like that, and give yourself a little prize as you build your running wardrobe. The other thing that can be great is larger races have expos, and that can be a great place to expand your running wardrobe, or you can kind of like find a really cool brand that you like and pick out what you're going to treat yourself with as your little goals. We both really love Run Rabbit clothing because they're super soft. What are some of the other brands? Oiselle is another brand that we super love.
Yeah.
And then Sparkle. We love Sparkle Athletic. It's the most fun way to run is to sparkle. So definitely check out their little Sparkle skirts because, if you're going to have a party, have a big one and sparkle on your runs.
Absolutely. And that's actually at expos, bigger expos for races. At big races, they will have they'll have booths with some of the different shoe vendors. You can try on different shoes, as well as, sometimes you'll be able to touch and feel the clothing and see what brands you like and pick up something that's kind of a reward.
So definitely let us know how or where you are in your running progress and, what it was like for you starting out running. I know that we said that we were going to talk about how we started running, but we're running short on time because we have to go pick up Naomi's son from daycare. But I just wanted to touch a little on how can a runner who's already running incorporate the Galloway method and begin with the Galloway method and while they're an experienced runner trying to get faster. What could they do?
Yeah. So, and this is coming from experience because I did not run with Galloway until about 5 years ago. And, but what you can do if you are looking for how I'm being told I'm supposed to be doing 80% of my runs at easy pace, you can, think about that in terms of, okay, well, I can't figure out how to get slower. I can't figure out how to run an easy pace. My easy pace is only 30 seconds slower than my race pace. Okay, well, let's try run walk. So for your easy days and your long run days when your goal is to stay in those easy heart rate zones, easy paces, we're gonna, throw on really easy run walk intervals. We've recently come to the 15:30 as being our new favorite super easy interval.
And that's the way experienced runners can really slow down and then not lose speed in their legs. And so anybody can incorporate the Galloway method into their training, even if they do plan to straight run a race. The Galloway method, what's wonderful about it is it can prevent injuries. I know that we talked about some normal new runner injuries, but I'm going to tell you a really cool story about how the run walk method came to be. And I'm going to keep it super short because we already said that we had to go. So Jeff, out of his running store, was coaching runners. And he had this group of runners who didn't have the fitness to begin his plan. And he was like, but I'm determined to help them. So he had them do a run, walk, run program. Well, at the end of 12 weeks, he had his beginning kind of fit runners and then his beginning run walkers. At the end of 12 weeks, his run walkers had no injuries and had caught up in fitness to his runners that were, quote, fit enough to begin their program.
And none of the run walkers dropped out of the program.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that was what would happen when they were just trying to run straight, is by the end of the 12 weeks, half of them had decided, well, I'm in too much pain, I'm injured, I'm not.
This is too hard, I don't want to keep going.
And none of the run walkers quit.
So the program used to be called like Run Injury Free with Jeff Galloway, but as you can tell, like running injuries, overuse injuries can still happen. So there's a little rebranding there. But we just, we think that this is such a great way for all runners, not just people who want to do run walk. Everyone can put these walk breaks into their long runs, into their easy runs. They can then slow down, control their heart rate, and then find a lot of improvement because they're going to be more rested and prepared for their hard workout days. So we definitely recommend incorporating run walk intervals into those easy runs, into those long runs, and it will just make life so much better. You're going to get so fast, you're going to feel great, and hopefully hold injuries at bay and improve as you run.
And you won't necessarily be running slower because your cadence will be still pretty fast. You'll still be actually running at a quick running speed. So your overall pace will look slow. Your overall heart rate will be nice and chill, but you're actually keeping a lot of foot speed in there, and so you're keeping speed in your legs that you'll be able to tap into on race day.
Yeah, and I know we post a lot of our average paces online, and everybody asks us, what speed do you run at? And I would say our average run speed is somewhere between 7:30 and 7:20 and 7:40, really. Most of our average run speed. So that's pretty quick. But for a 12-minute mile, we would do, say, a 15:30 with that. So we'll leave you with that today, and we're excited to come at you with episode 5 on Wednesday.
Yeah, and we will be posting a Run Walk Run Getting Started training plan as well.
It will be in these show notes on this post, but it's also on the half marathon post as well. And we're just so excited that everybody has been on this journey with us. It's been so amazing.
It's been so fun. Let us know what you think, and we hope to hear from you. Send us feedback.
Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.